This story has an update. Current HOA voted out, but not leaving. Advice on how to proceed. Posted by JNash85. OP gets us up to speed by saying, the quick update is that the HOA is trying to do a special assessment for a roof replacement, which would cost around $4,000 for each owner. A special meeting was held by the homeowners to vote to remove the 2 board members and fire the management company. We need 63 votes to pass, and we only had around 40 people show up, so nothing happened. However, it seems that in the bylaws it is written that since we did not have enough people show up to vote for a majority, we can meet again and only need around half the original number. So that meeting was held Saturday, and everyone in attendance, 44 people, voted to remove the members. There was a notice on my door Saturday evening stating the outcome and telling us that the current board members and management company would receive a letter by certified mail on Monday that their services were no longer needed. They also stated we have a new board, presumably voted in at the meeting on Saturday, and we will be self-managed. There was another notice on my door today, this time from the current management company and current board members. It stated that they are still having a meeting to vote on the roof assessment tomorrow, that we have a contract with the management company and they have serious concerns about the 2 meetings that were held to vote them out. My question is, what do I do here? I was present at the first meeting to vote them out, but could not make it to the second one. However, I did vote ahead of time to remove the members and the management company. I am inclined to go to the other meeting tomorrow, but I asked the person who has been leading this cause and they said that they are advising everyone not to go, so that they cannot get the votes for the roof assessment. Personally, I think everyone should show up, confront the management company, and vote any special assessment down. As far as I know, everything has been done by the books, but I do not want to get in a situation where the management company says I owe them dues and the new HOA says no, you don't, you need to pay us. I was on the fence about how I would vote during the first meeting, but the guy from the management company showed up, caused a scene, and had to be removed. That told me everything I needed to know about him. Update. First off, thanks for all the replies. I am not going to update so much on the roof, as this is now about having 2 HOA boards fighting it out. For the record, I do think the roofs should be replaced. Well, it seems I was in the wrong side of this one. I attended the meeting with the current board and the management company tonight. There were about 35 people there out of 100 units. I only spotted 4 or 5 that were at the special meeting to vote these people out. The management company presented parts of the bylaws and enough proof that I feel the special meeting was not valid and this new board should not be recognized. Additionally, the new board posted a notice on everyone's doors instructing them where to pay their new dues. Personally, I will not be doing that. I will continue to pay the management company my dues. If this goes to court, they can decide. Also, the 2 board members that were there made the case that the members of this new board were free to run to be on the legit board. In fact, they were begging people to join. Popcorn. You're going to need lots of popcorn. This is going to be fun to watch, commenter says, and OP replies, good point. On one hand, this is pure entertainment for me, but I don't want to mess with 2 groups asking for HOA dues. Weird interaction with a weasel of a neighbor, posted by TheseAsketio4. I'm in an HOA in Northern California. I'm renting my house, and in the last year, I've gotten 4 notices from my landlord that there have been complaints sent in about our front yard. 2 were related to our lawn being too long. One was about a hedge that was overgrown, also not my hedge but my neighbor, and one for my trash can not being behind our fence. All stupid. Luckily, my landlord is really understanding and patient, and I was able to explain everything. We had a 4th kid right after moving in, and it was during the crazy rains that we had in California, so it goes without saying, I was a bit preoccupied during any time that I wasn't working, and really wasn't caring to mow my lawn in a downpour. The other lawn problem, it was dumb because the photo submitted was taken literally the day after I mowed the lawn. Like, the person taking the photos were so bent on getting me, they tried to retroactively submit a complaint. One thing I noticed was that the photos were taken from the exact same angle. I have my main lawn in front of the left side of my house, and then the driveway, and then a small strip of side yard grass to the right. The kicker is, the photo locations only showed my side yard, when the main yard would have looked much worse. probably even complaint-worthy. But nonetheless, I got the feeling that whoever took the photos lived to the right of me somewhere and didn't want to risk being seen from my window had he taken the photo dead on. So, one Saturday morning, I was coming out to mow my lawn, and I see the weasel getting ready to take another photo. He had his dang iPad up and everything. So I just said, "Hey, good morning, can I help you?" The guy, an older gentleman, maybe in his 70s, I'm a terrible judge of age, he just panics and he tucks his iPad under his arm and he starts scuffling down the sidewalk. I thought, oh heck no, face me you jerk. So I just followed him, at a distance like at least 50 feet back, and I asked him if there was an issue, why are you photographing my house, and so on. I knew why, obviously. Well, he gets about 4 houses down, and he quickly goes in his garage and frantically shuts it while looking back at me. I am not an imposing figure. I'm actually a really nice guy. I smile and I say hello to everyone that I pass. I don't raise my voice. So his sheer terror of my presence was actually funny, but not necessary. I just wanted to ask him just to let me know when he thinks I'm out of regs rather than continue reporting me. I've never met this guy. I don't know what his issue is with me. I just must have a target on my back now. At least my landlord gets it. Commenter says, stand in front of his house and take pictures, and OP replies, I like that, though I'm sure I'll have another notice sent for being a nuisance or something, or the police called. And we get some answers here. Sounds like he's targeting you for being renters. He had to travel down 4 houses to photograph your yard, and he panicked when caught. Of course he could just be a busybody. Definitely ask the other neighbors about him. And OP says, very possible. I know that one neighbor across the street, who works out of town 5 days a week, got dinged for his lawn once, but he's been here for 3 or 4 years, so that's a pretty good record. Other neighbors haven't received anything that I know of, and I asked. I really don't have any quarrel. If he's just some old busybody, I should still be keeping my lawn nice, and life has gotten a bit less hectic than it was back then. I'm just the kind that likes to have a face-to-face conversation and close things out, you know? If there's an issue or I'm a concern, just tell me. I'll be sure to do the same. And OP answers about why you can complain about a lawn being long like that. He says, I wish I could answer that. The first time, yeah, it was a bit unruly. The second time, it wasn't even that bad before I mowed it. Like 2 weeks from the last mow, and it's summer in Northern California, the lawn isn't growing fast. It's ridiculous. HOA said, too bad, we're out of luck, posted by Miss Contrary Mary. My husband and I own a condo in Georgia. All the windows in our unit face the pool. About 3 weeks ago, bright stadium-style floodlights were installed in our pool area. The first night, these were on all night. It was so bright, it basically looked like mid-afternoon inside our condo, even with our shades down. This was the entire night in all of our unit because every room has a window. My poor husband couldn't sleep at all. We reached out to the board and we let them know. We agreed to the lights being on until 10 p.m. when the pool area closes, until a more permanent and reasonable solution could be found. Last night, the lights were on until midnight. We reached back out, asking about it. Apparently, in the board meeting that was held yesterday, they decided, for safety reasons, they need the lights on and suggested that we get blackout curtains. Now, we received an email that there was a meeting, but there was nothing mentioning that lights would be discussed or voted on. Had that been the case, we would have rescheduled our previous engagement to attend said meeting. They just simply told us the association has an obligation to ensure that the community remains well lit and safe for all residents to enjoy. I'm hoping to get some advice or input regarding what we can do. We don't think it's fair to have to foot the bill for installing and maintaining curtains. More importantly, we think it's unfair that they're just saying tough luck, deal with it. I mean, their actions are directly affecting our life inside our own unit. Any and all advice will be greatly appreciated. Update: the managing company actually asked to meet with us today, and they let us know that, unfortunately, they couldn't just turn off the one particular light outside our windows, because if they shut one light off, they all shut off, and this makes people complain because they can't see when they're walking their dogs at 2 a.m. They again touched on blackout curtains, and we told them that we are definitely open to the idea, but because it's something being forced on us, the HOA would have to cover the cost of installing and maintenance. There was a bit of back and forth, and we mentioned a few things that people here mentioned, and after a few calls, they agreed that they would order and install timers. The timers would be set so that the light affecting us would turn off at 10 p.m. and maintain the others on. The timer should be here next week, and meanwhile, we agreed to the lights being on every other day until they get installed, but we did make it clear if it's going to go beyond next week, we expect the lights to be off until they arrive and are installed. Like I said, I really appreciate everybody's advice. This is my first time dealing with an HOA, and it's given me valuable information if I need it in the future. This great comment says, find all of the condo owners that face the pool and show up en masse to the HOA meeting. I've actually dealt with the situation of huge floodlights being on outside of your window with loud machinery at night hours. It's really infuriating. So I understand, OP, what you're going through, and I'm glad that you're finally getting a resolution. Seriously, it sucks. Wouldn't you agree? HOA versus U.S. military, posted by Dr. Time Fox. Prepare for an HOA imploding. This soldier lived in an HOA in a rather nice house, paid his dues and taxes, not a single penny owed to anyone. Then they get called up and put on deployment. This is when the HOA seized their home and, worst of all, sold it. So, despite continuing paying their HOA fees, the soldier never hears about this until they return just over a year later, and immediately the chain of command goes into action. A point of clarity here: when the soldier is on deployment, it is illegal to seize any of their property. Even the IRS is barred from any action. So, after ignoring a letter sent by JAG, the Army Judge Advocate General Corps, JAG and the soldiers sue the HOA. Seems that the HOA broke 11 federal laws. The judge then awarded the soldier $1.5 million in immediate return of their home and property. If none can be returned, then federal prosecution will happen. The soldier did get back their home and their property. It seems the HOA board kept it. Speaking of which, all had to sell their homes. The HOA was dissolved by court order, and what happens to those board members? Never seen again. Rumor has it they are in prison. Does it get any more nuclear than this? Holy cow, man. HOA lawsuit. I put a lien on the president's $20 million mansion because of the HOA's illegal activity. Click the video on your screen. You don't want to miss what they did and the fallout of it all, and I will see you there.